Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you start off by telling us your name?
I am Lois Scott. I'm
Awesome.
the
And
author of So It Goes.
awesome, great. And where are you from?
I'm from Belgium. So I'm from the Flemish part in Belgium. So I speak Dutch.
Awesome, cool. And how long have you been writing?
Uh, that's a good question. I think it started when I was 22. So 4 years now.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
awesome. And what is your favorite time of day to write?
Evenings. I love
Mhm.
to sit just in the couch with a cup of tea and write on the book with some music on the back in the background. I just love that.
Awesome. For music, do you have specific playlists for your books, or do you just sort of listen to like whatever is playing, or what's your go-to?
No, actually, I love the voice auditions. I love the excitement that's behind it, and I get a thrill while I'm writing,
Yeah,
and then I'm distracted and go back, and
yeah.
then yeah, I it's a
Awesome.
little bit weird, I know, but I love
I love
that.
that.
I love to hear the creativity that these people have during these auditions, and it
Hmm.
gives me some creativity back, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Sort of like feeding off of the energy there.
Yeah.
I really like that. Let's see. Do you have a favorite book that you've written?
Well, probably So It Goes. I am actually really proud of that story. It's a personal story as well. Um, I'm
Hmm.
actually really proud of it. I know it can use some work still. I'm still working on it, but it's yeah, I'm really proud of it. The story behind it, it was never meant to go like that, but I'm really happy
Hmm.
with it. Just the way the
Good.
story goes.
That's really,
I love the drama in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that. I think that's great. It's clear, like, yeah, clearly you're very passionate about it, and I think that's really great. And then it's kind of like has a special place. Is it the first book that you ever wrote?
No, actually, it's the second one.
Okay.
Uh, the Blue Wolf Diana was the first ever story I wrote, and then I
Okay.
started So It Goes after that,
Hmm.
and yeah, yeah, it's based on my personal experience in the children's hospital. I was doing an internship
Hmm.
there. I was teaching a small boy with cancer,
Hmm.
and it just went from there. It was a stubborn little
Yeah.
kid that didn't want to listen to a word I said, and it just went
Yeah.
from there. I still remember that little boy very clearly, and Olivia just popped into my head based on
Yeah.
his story. Actually, well, that was leukemia. This
Yeah.
is lung cancer. It's uh, a different type of cancer, but the stubbornness,
Hmm.
it's all
Hmm.
from that little
Yeah.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you have pieces of him in the characters. Do you have any pieces of yourself?
Yes, Anna is
Hmm.
the flowery dresses and the fact that she always speaks her mind. I want to always speak my mind, but I don't. And
Aspirational.
yes, I don't always speak my mind because I think that it can feed arguments sometimes. But
Hmm.
the fact that Anna always kept her mouth shut while she was living with her parents, and then she grew out of that
Hmm.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Well, that's some pieces of me. She grew up
Yeah.
to be independent, and I do think that I am a pretty independent woman, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I love hearing that. I think that's really special and really important. So that's really great. So who is your favorite character to write?
To write, probably Anna. Yeah,
Okay.
I. It's easier to talk or to write from a female point of view because I'm female myself. I think
Mhm.
it's sometimes it's difficult to write in Jim's point of view, because his way of thinking, I'm using, yeah, different characters. It's not always as easy.
Mhm.
Um, but definitely Anna. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So, what is the shortest time it's taken you to write a book?
I did write a book in about half a year. I did that one time, but it's not so good. I do think that you need to reread and rewrite
Mhm.
a story
Yeah.
like 100 times. I do that quite often with the other books,
Mhm.
and I'm never happy about it. Like now, So It Goes is on Galatea, so I think I did some of a good job, but I'm still editing it in
Mhm.
major ways, so I don't think it will ever be finished in my head.
Yeah. Mhm. I think the first draft, people always say like, "Oh, just sit down and write the first draft. Don't worry about mistakes." And but it's also sometimes like you're still putting a part of yourself into this, and so you're going to be spending time thinking about this, and so it's hard to sort of be like, "It doesn't matter. It's just the first draft," and then just writing it and letting it go. But I also feel like you can have the best novel in the world, but the author will be, as an author, you're going to be like, no, I need to change this after reading through, and it's like, so you're never going to feel
Yeah,
like you're totally finished, even though a reader will be like, this is the best book ever. I love it. But we're our own worst critics, right?
yeah, no, I'm really, no, it will never be finished. And I think that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of
Yes.
an author. It's the beauty of a book because it's a world you created. So I think that's
Yeah.
beautiful in writing. It's an escape,
Hmm.
but it also means that, yeah, it's never done. It's never done. And I love it. I love working on So It Goes. I love working on the follow-ups, even though there's not much on paper yet. In my head, I keep writing. I just keep
Hmm.
writing and writing and
Yeah.
writing, and I'm never completely happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you find the most enjoyable about the writing process?
um, the rewriting, actually, I love the thrill of ending a chapter, and then
Hmm.
after a while, I think, okay, I'll go back, and I'm like, oh my God, but what did I do? And the fact that you can edit it, I love
Hmm.
finding these little things. I mean, English is clearly not my first language, but I love seeing those details. That doesn't sound right, and that doesn't sound right. I love finding those things and making them
Yeah.
better, like giving it more detail and stuff like that. I actually really love that, the editing part. Yeah. Creating more
Nice.
depth
I love
into
that.
the story.
Yeah. That's
That's
awesome. I
my
think that's
favorite
really,
part.
really great. Yeah, that's really, really great. And I think it's kind of well, I feel like it's important to have that as an author, because now it's clear then, just based on what you're saying, it's very clear that, you're able to take a step back from the writing and then come back with a fresh mind, and you're able to sort of like look at the like draft from more of like a critical point of view, and being like, okay, this doesn't sound right, or I need to add this, I need to do this. And I think that helps, before it goes out to an editor. That helps prior to the editorial process, because you're doing your own editing, and of course, like, it's your own work, right? So you're always going to put the care and love and attention to detail into it, and like your voice will be heard, sort of thing. So I think that says a lot that you enjoy going back and editing and adding more
Yeah.
depth. That's awesome. So what are you reading these days?
Me, I'm actually hooked on the Twisted books from Anna Huang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading them in English, so it takes me a little bit longer to actually read them, but I'm now on book two, and I'm
Yeah.
completely hooked on the
Mm-hmm.
on the writing, yeah, on the
Yeah.
skills that she has. I love it, but the wording, it's a little bit difficult, so I have a dictionary with me to
Oh,
translate
nice.
some parts of
Yeah.
it. And then I think, okay, that's the way to say that, and that's the way to say that, and then I can use the wording, the way of writing. I can learn
Yeah.
a lot from it. Yeah, those
That's awesome.
I actually love those stories.
Nice. I really like that. That's really cool. I love that you like are using a dictionary and trying to kind of like you're like learning. It's you're improving your skill just by reading a book, you know. So I think that's really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
I
Um.
am I'm a firm believer in that we learn every day. We learn new skills every day. We learn from each other. I mean, I'm a teacher, so I learn from my kids. My kids learn from me, and
Mhm.
I love that part. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
reading my books. We do 50 minutes of reading every day, and I'm in my classroom with the book in English, and they're like, "What are you reading?" And I'm like, "This is not for your eyes. This is not for your ears." And I'm like, "It's a romance," and they're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh." But they're
Yeah.
11, so everything is ooh. But
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Of
I
course.
love that I can get them hooked on a book by
Yeah.
just seeing me read. I love that process.
Yeah.
I'm really a firm believer. When you see people read, you learn to read. So
Hmm.
I'm teaching my kids that as well.
Nice. Awesome. Which three authors do you think have most influenced your writing style?
Authors. I don't know the name. Oh, who was that? When I was a teen, I read the stories of the Mortal Instruments, Clara. Um, I'm I'm stuck on the name, but I love the entire series. I read them in like 2 months. There were like
Yeah.
eight books. It was crazy. Um, and then, of course, so that's more science fiction. So fantasy fiction, I absolutely adore science fiction. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, E.L. James from 50 Shades. I
Hmm.
think that she has a way to describe something in little words. You can get sucked in a book by her, and I really
Yeah.
love that. So sometimes I go back and reread to get some ideas.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. Finally, tell us a few things that you like to do when you're not writing.
Not writing. I sew. It's a little bit weird, but I make my own clothes, so I
Awesome.
do that.
That's
And I love
amazing.
to,
That's awesome.
yeah, and I love to bake. I really love to
Hmm.
bake. And lately, my boyfriend and I, we just bought a house, so we are remodeling it. So
So
that's a
cool.
little bit about me. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sewing, baking. It sounds a little bit 50s housewife, but I actually love it. I love being creative and I love working with my
Hmm.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
I
base
think that's
about me,
awesome.
actually.
Yeah. That's really cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Everyone can check out So It Goes exclusively on Galatea.
Okay, thank you all for reading my book. I'm really proud of it, and I wouldn't be here without you.